What's up, Eagles fans? We back, baby.
A true legend returns, but make no mistake about it, the Eagles are far from done. Dallas still stinks. Wait, we run. You might do it. King Dingbat here, and if Brandon Graham can't bring out the white rerun, who can? What a day. What an unbelievable situation for the Eagles. Brandon Graham is back. We're going to get into it and so much more. But if you're sitting there and you're thinking, Brandon Graham, he's there, the Eagles are done making moves, forget about it. You're wrong. It ain't happening. The Eagles are not done yet. Okay, there is no way. And we got a lot of crazy rumors today in football in general. So we're going to jump right into it. Before I do that, though, I do want to say I apologize for my non-stream earlier today. I had a bunch of stuff happen this morning, and I could not get back until right now when I'm here to film for about an hour. Then I got to go back to work. So I apologize for that. But I do want to talk about all the crazy stuff going in. All right, first and foremost, of course, we're going to talk about BG and everything happening there. But I do want to talk about this rumor going on because this just doesn't compute to me, all right? This doesn't compute, all right? Dov Kleeman and a bunch of other people are reporting the Cowboys have reached out to the Raiders about a potential trade for Max Crosby. This would make Dallas an instant Super Bowl contender. Hell, it would. Hell, it would make them a Super Bowl contender because of the rest of the defense is ass. And we know what their quarterback does when it gets December. It wouldn't make Dallas a contender. And that's not really my issue because this whole Crosby thing is taking legs on its own going to Dallas. You're now seeing Dallas content creators posting stuff about they're close, it's going to happen. So my question is this about the whole Max Crosby situation. Why would the Raiders only trade him to one team? If other teams in the NFL know, like the 49ers, the Eagles, any other team that needs help, maybe the Lions, why would the Raiders only listen to Dallas? Why would it only be Dallas? Like, nobody else has thought to call about Max Crosby? No, you're going to be in a bidding war, Dallas. You want him? It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you those 2 first-round picks you got from Green Bay. We're going to make sure of it. But to me, if he's available for a trade, then you've got to go out if you're the Eagles. And you've got to prevent him from going to Dallas, and you got to get him. And that should be priority number one. Okay? Because if he makes Dallas a Super Bowl contender, he pretty much give the Eagles the trophy right now. That's what everybody should be saying. But I don't know if I believe that these Max Crosby rumors are true. But the rumors growing, it's getting louder, and it only seems to be Crosby to Dallas. Why? Where's the other teams involved? It doesn't make any sense. If the Raiders will only trade him to Dallas, that's some NBA rigged crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like sending Luka to the Lakers, which was totally a scam, no doubt about it. But we'll get into that more. Of course, the news of the day: BG is back, and how can you not be excited about this? Okay, now there are two lines of thought that I heard. There are people who are like, I love BG, but why bring him back? He's old. He's not going to help us. Or, BG's back and he's fresh and he's going to tear it up. Look what he did before he got hurt last year. My thoughts are simple. You need depth at the defensive end spot. Okay, you need depth. You lost Za'Darius Smith. So you needed another edge rusher when you had Za'Darius Smith. BG was still probably coming back. But now you need 2 edge rushers. He fills one spot, and he gives you the veteran leadership. He gives you energy in the locker room. Everybody loves him and respects him, and that helps the defense. That helps the Eagles. There is no question about it. However, I don't think Brandon Graham or anybody should expect Brandon Graham to come in and expect to get 30, 40 snaps a game, get 2, 3 sacks a game. He's not going to give you 8, 9 sacks on the year. He ain't going to do anything like that. I don't think that's what he's going to do. He's going to be a rotational guy. He'll help you in the run game. He might get 4 or 5 sacks, depending upon how healthy he is. but you still need another edge rusher. You're still going to need another edge rusher. But I like having Brandon Graham back. I don't think it could hurt, especially with all the talk and yapping so far we've heard this year in the locker room. I think Brandon Graham is a good voice to have. Zach Berman wrote this. Brandon Graham officially signed, but he does not need to immediately count against the 53-man roster. The Eagles have a 2-game roster exemption for Graham's return. If they decide to play him on Sunday, he would have to then be activated to the 53-man roster. They can also use this as a ramp-up period. So we don't know if he's even going to play. There's kind of talk that maybe, his training camp is going to be the next 2 weeks, right? You come back, you practice with the team this week, you practice, during the bye week, and then you're back for that Green Bay game. So we might not see him till the Green Bay game. Hell, then with Azeez Ojulari looking like he's not going to play, maybe they just put Brandon Graham in, let him play. They also released tight end Jaheim Bell from the practice squad. Who the hell is that? You know what I mean? Really. But overall, I'm excited to see Brandon Graham come back. I think it's a great story. And the fact that he could only do it, only in Philly would something like this happen. So I'm glad to see it. Now, the question is going to be, what is the next move for the Eagles? But before we do that, let me show you this. Now would be a great time to talk about our new sponsor, ProfitX. ProfitX is the ultimate sports prediction market. Join thrilling sweepstakes to make peer-to-peer plays with fellow fans. Set your own odds for bigger payouts. All legal in 40 states. Outsmart your friends. Elevate your game with ProfitX. All you got to do is use promo code Philly500 at the sign-up to get up to $200 in ProfitX cash. That's $200 in ProfitX cash. All you have to do is use promo code Philly500. Must be of legal age. Void where prohibited. Start now at ProfitX. All right, so this week the Eagles take on the Giants, and this is going to be a revenge game. Eagles 7.5-point favorites. I like this play. I think this is a great play because I think the Eagles are going to blow them out by over 10 points. So I'm taking the Eagles minus 7.5. And if you like this, you can check out ProfitX. Get $200 in ProfitX cash. Just use promo code Philly500 and get $200 in ProfitX cash. Just go to ProfitX and use the code Philly500. Shout out to ProfitX. Now, I want to talk about what the Eagles do next, because this is the important thing. That was an important win for the Eagles versus Minnesota. What they showed out of that game, what I got out of the game versus Minnesota is this isn't the 2023 Eagles that are going to collapse, okay? This team is really, really good, and they got to get some things going. Now, we saw the passing game get going, and that's great. But at the end of the day, to me, what they're going to have to do offensively is you have to get this running game fixed before the playoffs. Okay, it's one thing to go out and pass, and we see this all the time. I talk about this all the time. You see the quarterbacks throw the big yards, passing here, passing there, right? We see it during the regular season. But what happens when the playoffs begin? You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to run the ball. The quarterbacks that don't throw 30, 40 times win playoff games. That's why I never get caught up in, Hurts is only throwing 20 times a game. Well, because Hurts is always playing playoff football. But you're going to have to get this run game fixed by the time the playoffs start. Once you go to playoffs, Barkley's got to be running well. The Eagles' offensive line's got to be fixed. So that's something that they're going to have to take care of on the offensive side, and I think they can do that in-house. But what they have to do out-of-house before the trade deadline, got to add another pass rusher, maybe even a corner. Both if you really want to shore up things. But if I had to choose just one position, and we'll talk about corner, we're going to talk about corner later in the week with like different guys. But to me, the most important position that you have to get is you have to get another edge rusher. Nolan Smith is getting ready to come back in maybe another week. You're going to need one more guy. Jordan Schultz wrote this. Sources, with the Pound Dolphins sitting at 1-6, teams around the league are keeping a close eye on their pass rushers ahead of the trade deadline, including Bradley Chubb, who has no guaranteed money. No guaranteed money after this season. Jalen Phillips in the final year of his contract, and Matthew Judon. Now, Judon was inactive, I think, a healthy scratch last week. I'm less interested in him. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb would interest me. Specifically, Bradley Chubb. Why Bradley Chubb? Because Bradley Chubb, for the first time in a few years, I think is actually healthy. He's got 4 sacks on the year, and if you bring him in, you're bringing him into something he knows what to do. He's played under Vic Fangio. Fangio knows him, and he knows Fangio. This would be a good fit. He could come in, he could fit in right away. As you know, there's no guaranteed money for him after this season. I think Bradley Chubb needs to be the Eagles' #1 target, unless somehow, some way, Max Crosby is really out there on the market. If Crosby's out there on the market, I'm giving up a first-round pick for him and then some. I am. Because he's, 28 years old? Okay, but Chubb is 29, and I think you could get him in this year, at least, maybe have him for the next 2 years. But Bradley Chubb should be the Eagles' #1 target, in my opinion. Now, there's other guys, Jermaine Johnson. I don't think the Giants are going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau. Maybe they will, but probably not to the Eagles, especially after we devastate them. We're going to devastate the Giants this week, okay? We're crushing that team. I'm so sick of hearing about that team. These fans, the Giant fans think they win 2 games. They win 1 game, every 4 years against us, and then they act like they won a Super Bowl. They're going to have to pay the price this week. But, that being said, Bradley Chubb needs to be the Eagles' #1 target. #1 target going into the trade deadline, in my opinion, assuming Crosby really isn't available. Which, like I said, I don't know if I really believe those rumors. But that's what I think the Eagles need to do. I will be streaming tomorrow early, definitely. I've already got it taken care of. I've already have guarantees that I will be able to do this because I wasn't able to today or Friday. And then I'll try to throw an extra one in maybe Thursday before we stream Thursday Night Football. Which was Carson Wentz is back again. So we get some Woogie, Franks, and Beans. We'll be ready to go. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Go ahead. Say hi. Say hi. This is Cinnamon, and she keeps trying to eat my phone. So she wanted to see it. She wants to look around. Say hi. Hopefully we'll have her at home really, really soon, although I don't want to let her go. She's too sweet. Go ahead. Go play, but stop trying to eat my phone. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.